How's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind. And so, does free will exist? Well, you would like to think so. I mean, it seems like a given almost, but when you do look in the Bible, there doesn't seem to be the actual reference to free will. Now, I've discovered this a while ago, and then, I made a note of it. I was kind of wondering if it was just me, but then I recently made another video, and a subscriber had confirmed that, yeah, he was saying free will is not biblical. Well, it kind of depends on how you determine what free will is. I mean, if they're going to specifically say free will, I don't know if you're going to find that in the Bible or not. If you can find it, let me know. I mean, leave a comment in the comment section and show me the scripture that literally says free will. But I mean, the way I look at it is, you could be referring to choices here. Is choices and free will at the same thing is what we must conclude, because I mean, apparently, like, we know there's choices, right? Like, I mean, you can make a decision whether to go to work the next day or not, right? Like, that's like up to you, right? But it's really not a choice, because there's consequences that come with that choice. So, there seems to be, I mean, I would consider that free will, wouldn't you? But I mean, others wouldn't, because they kind of refer to this experiment that the scientist did, where he asked the question to the participant, and the participant, like, the scientist was able to record brain activity from, like, I think it was around 8 seconds before the question was even asked, suggesting that you might not be able to determine what the choice was, but you can see that there was something going on before the question was even asked, as far as a response to the question. So that suggests the idea of, like, a predestined experience, where it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book, where all the options of reality are laid out, and and things are making decisions and branching off into realities. But they're saying, like, when you make a decision, there's been kind of like an analyst, and I've seen research where they try to say, like, you make a decision and it branches off into two realities, like, at that point, where it would be one reality kind of going on autopilot, but it's there when you're making a decision. It's like the tree of life almost. You can look at it where they're like branches of choices being made, and it forks in the road each time a choice is made, and your reality dwells in the option that you choose, and then you continue down that path. So the path is kind of already, I guess it's kind of like formulating as it's being, a constant act of creation, like a constant, well, of observing almost, because they're almost saying that the paths are already kind of set up for you, and you just got to make the decisions, and then it plays out according to those decisions that you make. And so, I mean, that would be like a free will book. I mean, what they call it, choose your own adventure book, where you get to a certain page and you make those decisions, and you turn to the page if you want to continue the story based on that decision. But the decision is already laid out for you. Like, there's already a script that you're going to be experiencing after making those decisions. Then you can go back and make a different decision and see how that plays out. And there's also a movie like that called the Black Mirror movie, where the movie will stop. It's on Netflix, and the movie will stop and ask you what decision you want to make. So the movie plays out in different ways according to the decision that you make. And so I think there's also a movie called, like, what's that, Life? It's like a Christmas movie, where I think it was like he made a decision or something happened to him, and then the being showed him his life, his past experiences, where, like, what could have happened if he made different choices. And it's kind of like a theme that they kind of try to throw out there. Like, well, there's definitely like NPCs, or, well, not the NPCs, but NDEs, near death experiences, where there's people say that they see their life flash before their eyes, and some might even suggest you can kind of see what would happen, like, with different choices made or whatever. And so I don't know. I mean, like I said, we've determined that choices definitely seem to exist. Like that seems to be a real thing, right? For sure. Like we can all agree on that, right? Choices exist. So are we calling that free will or not? Because like I said, like if free will is in the Bible or not, that's a whole nother question. So I don't know. That might go into the discussion of NPCs. I think we're gonna have to do that in a whole nother video though about like, cause like there's a movie like The Free Guy, and he's like a program and stuff where he actually wakes up and makes decisions and free will, but before that, his life was kind of set up to go in a loop. Like you wake up. It's kind of like how we all are set up to kind of wake up, hit your path to work, and then after work, you hit your path to wherever on these whatever. You go home or you make some certain stops, and it's usually kind of like a loop that you can kind of trace throughout. Pretty much weekly, and then on the weekends you might hit a few places and you kind of see a pattern developing there where it's not really too much going on off your path. But then there's this game it's like a app called Ondonautica where it's designed to alter your choices that you normally would make. And they say that the device, I don't recommend anybody playing this game, but because it seems very suspect. We'll probably have to do a whole video on it. I've touched on it before, but this Ondonautica app wants you to make decisions and go on an adventure, and it wants you to ask the app something, and it intentionally tries to throw you off your normal path and have you end up somewhere completely different. And it's like a lot of these people have reported being in like different portals almost, it looks like, where just the weirdest things are going on. And it's like you almost wonder, like, are these videos fake? Because it's like so much will happen when they get off the path, and it's like they get the person. The intention is to get the person way off of their path, and then I've seen some very crazy videos on that where people have documented just coming across the most random looking stuff, people screaming in the woods or voice. It's just like a lot of activity on this app, and I don't know if that takes them, if it's an adventure into another portal. I mean, because you're not on the path that you were, that's set up for you almost. So, I mean, as far as free will, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, like we said, it comes down to choices, and Adam and Eve had to make choices, right? So, according to the Bible, Adam and Eve were asked, like, they were told not to eat out of a certain tree out of the garden. There's like a couple trees in there where the creator said, don't eat out of those trees. And they had the decision not to eat out of them, but then they did. And I guess, of course, you would expect, yeah, let's like, don't push this red button. Do not push. And then have that sitting right somewhere. And then eventually somebody's probably going to push it. That's just the chances, right? So everything would be set up for, okay, you make that choice. And then, like, I wonder if it's like, was that even something that they expected to not happen or not? And so let me know in the comment section, like, when you say free will, are you like, do you think choices is free will? Do you think that's what actually free will is just choices? But the bigger question is, do you think these options of reality are already played out for us? Or see, I kind of would think it's more like being created, like actively created. I almost would like to think like, well, as far as right now, the moment of now, there's a lot of places I could be right now in life, depending on, like, according to the choices I've made. And like right now I could be, like anything right now, right at this point. And of course, if I would have made different decisions, it would have led to different realities for me. So are all those realities existing? And then future choices, do those exist already? It's like, wow, that's quite a concept. Like I said, I don't want to really like speculate too much on this right now. I want to share this with you all so we can have this brainstorm discussion in the comment section possibly, because I mean, this is quite a heavy subject to take on as far as the options of free will. And like I said, I think the Free Guy movie, I'm gonna probably break down in a whole nother video on its own, but it's kind of related, I guess. Can you snap out of your your the choices that are expected, from you? And if you make other choices, yeah, of course that's gonna lead to another path. Like, yeah, I would definitely say that. Like, if you do something out of the ordinary, like they say, doing the same thing and expecting different results, you're not, that you're limiting yourself. So if you do make these other choices, maybe that can expand you and lead you to other areas. Like, if you make the choice not to look into certain subjects, you're gonna be, you're refusing, you're making that decision not to learn that other information, but the option is there to learn. So, I mean, I don't know if this conversation is just like, see, that's kind of why I never touch on it, because I just assume it's free will. Like, it's something I guess I kind of assume, but like, it's been brought up, like, okay, it's definitely not biblical, like, in those terms, I guess. I mean, unless somebody can provide the scripture, but it's like, I think it's assumed as choices. So I link it almost like I want to link free will with choices. But then, like I said, the deeper question is, do these choices, like, are the options, are the choices already predetermined and played out, or do they play out as we're making them, or are they playing out and being created before our eyes, like a constant act of creation? Like, the moment of now is a evolving creation in action and in progress at all times. The moment of now, and that's what I've definitely researched, where, like, they say, like, the moment of now is all that there is, really. That's all there ever has been, the moment of now. And it's constant choices and everything just being made all the time out of all the choices, and it just it's constantly happening. Or you can, like I said, the other are trying to say, no, the choices are already playing out. They're like ahead of us. There's already kind of like branches. See, we would never know this information anyways. That's why this is a brainstorm video. So if you want to join in, I mean, we can tackle this subject and see if it inspires even more information. Maybe we can reveal and figure out more information. But I don't know. There definitely seems to be something to that ondonautica game. From what I've researched, like, those choices have led to some pretty strange things by getting them off their path, and that, like I said, that's some pretty heavy stuff, though. And I definitely don't recommend anybody playing that game. I mean, that's up to you. You make your own decisions and all, but yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section and description box. I'll also leave a link if you would like to donate to the channel. If I can get like one donation, like one new Patreon per video, that would be very helpful. It's just $1 to join. Also, I'll leave links to my other channels and my social media. And if you could please like, comment, share, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. This has been Feed Your Mind. Thank you for tuning in. Signing off.